And welcome back, guys, to the new video. So the number one of the series of how to become a game designer. So when you launch Epic Game, you can launch Unreal Engine. Then you have here all of your projects. You go new project. You select the first person template or whatever template suits you best. But I'm gonna be using the first person template. You give the name that you want. Wherever you want the project to be, you go create project, and then you arrive to this. So this is all the option. It can be a little bit scary at first, but it's really easy. So when you arrive, first you have this layout. So I love to press this button. It's way easier to navigate. And then you can create some new folders and say like blueprints, for example. I already have one, so you can say like assets and put all of your assets here, everything. We're gonna go later on how to tidy up really these things, really important. So then you have your 3D scene here. That's where like every object in your scene, this is the outliner, so you can select every object that you have in your scene by clicking on it or by the outliner here. To navigate, when you hold right click, you can move around with WASD. You can go up and down with Q and E. And to change the speed of the camera, if I scroll down, I'm going really slowly, and I scroll up and then I'm really fast. You can also change the speed here. So keep in mind this is like a different speed, so even though I scroll down like the maximum, I'm still really fast in my scene, even though this is like the minimum I can go. And then the maximum, I'm like crazy fast. So that's why I usually keep on 4 the speed. I go up only, for example, if I'm creating like a planet that I want to be massively huge, to give the impression when we move here that the planet doesn't move in the background. So for example, I go like a massive planet that I'm gonna put like far away of my scene. Then I select something on my here or in the outliner, and you press F, and then it's like focusing on your object that you have selected, same as a 3D program or whatever. And see when I move, so the planet doesn't move, so it looks really huge. Then you have your basic light, cinematic, visual effect, geometry. So we're gonna, to be honest, I don't really use these guys. I mean, like this list. I usually go and like type the things I need. For example, like a direct light or whatever. But it's easier at the beginning. For example, when you need like a cube. I do use a cube a lot when I do like some prototyping, level design. I use some basic shapes. You can also like use the basics, the geometry editing over there, but that's gonna be for another video. So when I drag my cube, then I have a cube here that I can rename and say like floor, for example, floor props. If it was, I need to change to English keyboard. If it was, for example, like a floor that we just imported inside our game. So just it's a good habit to always rename the things in the outliner, so we don't get lost. And then to tidy it up, you can even create folders here as well. So I can say, for example, meshes, and all of my meshes gonna be here. And then I can say, for example, everything about the floor is gonna be inside here. So I have my, I can go like, oh well, I wanna see my floor, so here, floor prop, and then I put it here. So now it's a little bit more like, it's a little bit more tidy. And then here's my floor. But now I have like this one as a floor, so I can just go and say like, well, this is the one I want inside my floor. Here we go. So this is how you use like the outliner to keep it tidy. You can press G, so sometimes like people ask me, oh, well, I can't see anything. So G is the shortcut to actually see all of your little icons or whatever we call them. Then another question, because I taught some people about Unreal and different stuff, so that's the question that's frequently asked at the beginning. It's when you save all is important, because when you go like, that's not the question that's usually asked, I will jump into that in a sec. So save current, that's the Control S, that's the shortcut we used to. In Unreal it's a little bit different, because if you want to save everything that you change, not just the one inside your current level and what you're working at the moment, but you want to save your entire project, that's save all. So that's why I use like save all quite a lot. The question is usually asked, it's where the project is. So at the beginning it can be a little bit confusing. So by default, it goes to PC, Documents, Unreal Project, and then you have all of your Unreal project here. So mine is Tuto Series FPS. So it creates a whole like folder for us, and then this is the shortcut to launch the project. So that's the one you can, for example, send into your desktop. Forgive my Windows in French, but yeah, it doesn't really matter, I guess. Then you can change. We're gonna see this as well. I didn't talk about this in the introduction, but we can make the game, for example, multiplayer for Steam. For that, we just add, for example, some lines, some code lines. It's, for example, here. Let me bring it on this screen. And for example, like we're gonna add some lines here, blah blah blah, of script. And so that's how we use all of these folders and stuff. But most of the time, we don't mess with this folder at all. It's just this one to launch your project. And if you want to put your project somewhere else, for example, like in a hard drive to go to someone's places to work or whatever, you can just like copy this entire folder and paste it on your hard drive, and then you can launch the project, and that's all you need. Obviously, you need Unreal installed on the other computer, but that's how you can use your project somewhere else. Okay, and so this is the button here, so to save the current, so that's the same as, it's a bit like shortcut here. Blueprints, I'm gonna talk about this in the next video. So when you can already like hit plays, and like you can move around and you can shoot, and we have our beautiful planet over there. A build, I'm going to talk about this later on as well, is to build the lights and build the path and everything. Cinematic, we can make some basic cinematic using Matinee. Can be like a cinematic when the camera is going like out of the character, like you just to show like a background or whatever, or it can be just a cinematic inside, not really a cinematic, an animation. We can, for example, animate this cube going like going crazy. You can also do this with Blueprint, so that's why sometimes we're going to use Matinee to animate something, and sometimes we're going to use Blueprint. It's just we use the fastest one. I'm going to show you both methods. It's going to be like other video. So I think that's it for this first introduction. Oh no, something important I didn't mention, forgive me. It's when you click something into your scene, you have all of the details here about the object you clicked. So you see, like for example, when I shoot on some cubes, some of them moved because they had like physics based, so simulate physics, and some of them don't. For example, these guys. So that's why here you can actually change all of the properties of one specific object in your scene. So you can change the scale, you can change like, if you want to be like physics based or not, the collision, lighting, blah blah, all of different options that we're gonna talk together about it. And you can create a blueprint based on this mesh that I have in my scene, but that's the subject for the next video. So I see you guys there.